With all of the Brazilian talent that has come through the IndyCar series over the years, Jaime Camara was viewed as another one who would join that list. He raced in the Indy Lights series from 2005 to 2007, putting up some pretty good results. In his rookie season, he scored 2 wins as well as 3 podiums and 3 poles, as well as finishing top 5 in points, but his biggest highlight was without a doubt winning that season's Freedom 100. This was the biggest race to win in the Indy Lights series at the time. If you wanted to make a name for yourself in the paddock, then winning this race in Indy Lights was going to do that. Another way you can get attention is by hitting the wall during burnouts. That first season in Indy Lights was spent driving for Sam Schmidt, so it's safe to say that he was on the radars of a few IndyCar teams. While he had some good runs here and there, he certainly wasn't dominating. His biggest problem was that he was inconsistent, whether it was coming from just wrecking during a race or not being quick enough. Despite some of those flaws, he was viewed as a driver who could have more success potentially with some more seat time. The next 2 seasons in Indy Lights would be spent driving for a new team, Andretti Autosport. In 2006, he won a race at the Milwaukee Mile and scored 3 podiums in total. Unfortunately, after that win, he would DNF in 3 of his final 4 races. 2007 was a bit of a step back in my opinion, once again scoring 3 podiums, but this time around, no wins. His best run of the season coming in the Freedom 100 once again. Camara showed promise at times in his 3 seasons driving in Indy Lights, but you could hardly make a case for him moving up to IndyCar. While showing a ton of promise on the ovals, he was extremely inconsistent on road courses. Perhaps a couple more seasons in Indy Lights would have done him some good, but instead, he went the opposite route, moving up to the IndyCar series in 2008. He tried moving up a year earlier, but couldn't get a deal done. This time, 4 races into the 2008 season, he was able to do so. Conquest Racing was in search of a replacement driver for the rest of the season. Once they stepped up their sponsorship efforts, Camara signed for the rest of the 2008 season, making his debut at Kansas. Mechanical failures slowed him down in that race, but once we got to Indianapolis, it was pretty much all on him from there, wrecking in practice as well as pulling into his teammate's pit stall during the actual race, and then went on to DNF before ever reaching lap 100. Those incidents during the month of May pretty much set the tone for the rest of the season.
Oh no, crash, a hard hit. Our 4th yellow here on lap number 80, and that is the 34 of Jaime Camara, another one of our rookies, and he has torn up the right side of that car.
Now everybody that's coming around has got to really be careful for the debris.
The result of the car looks like he gets to the middle of the turn, just starts to go off towards the outside wall. Get another look at it here.
Went in too high.
And there again, up into the gray, into what we call the marbles, little pieces of rubber that are worn off the tires just to end up there.
Bad enough you hit the wall once, it really hurts when you hit it twice. That is the 34 of Jaime Camara, and we're sort of wondering, I haven't heard from the team yet, maybe he ran out of fuel. 61 laps, we thought they could go as far as 65.
And you see him behind the truck, and they're actually pulling him in with a tow cord because there was no damage. He did not have any contact with the wall or a truck.
Now, this is the first time that Jaime Camara, at least in the IndyCar series, has had the lead on a restart.
Job out front. It doesn't seem to be all that much slower than the guys behind him. They're not up there.
He did test here a couple of years ago for Andretti Green. We thought he might have a spot on that team, and who knows, if Kanan with a lead, that might open up a spot for him. Now Kanan goes to the inside, bottoms out, the sparks flying. Jamie's not giving him any room to make that pass.
He's definitely faster. Oh, there he goes. He goes to the top now. Maybe Kanan will give him the opportunity to go under him.
Well, he still has to be very careful, though.
Yep. Kanan's,
it's just the groove he's running.
Yeah, it's just the groove he's running out there on the outside. And Kanan, even though he's quicker, hasn't found a way to get around him yet. Uh-oh, that looks like Jaime Camara.
That's Camara up against the wall. So what had been a very promising evening for this youngster ends against the wall. Yep. All by himself.
Yep, just coming off of turn number 4. Back end got loose and got up into the wall, pretty much like his Bernaldi did in practice the other day, almost identical to what Bernaldi did, as a matter of fact. And you can see the frustration as he's, he had such a great run going. and thinking, how did that happen? How did I let that happen?
No, another crash. This is the 34 of Jaime Camara. And another full course yellow comes out.
Ryan Hunter Ray's going, boy, I didn't want to see this, but Darren Manning says, okay, all right, I've learned something. I made a mistake here on the restart. I bet you he'll take advantage of this.
Let's go back and take another look, see what happened to Jaime Camara.
Just loses it.
The same
entrance to the turn, the same place that Tony Kanaan, I believe, had a problem this morning.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. It looked like the very same spot. Well, you saw it in side by side, the contact between the two cars, Dan Weldon and Jaime Camara. And Weldon has been refired by the Delphi safety team. Don't know the extent of the damage on the front nose. Let's go back and take a look at what happened as they were heading into turn number 8, Scott.
This has been something that's been happening here for a while because Weldon's been looking and thinking about it, but this he was just not close enough and tries to get on the inside, hoping that Jaime Camara sees him coming and gives him room. But Jaime's in the correct position there. He's going towards the inside of the turn. Turn was really his, and we'll have to see if Weldon gets a penalty here.
His best finish of the season turned out to be a 14th at Richmond despite DNFing. In his 14 starts, he DNF'd a total of 7 times and had an average finish of 23.1. Even during his best race of the season at Richmond, a lot of those laps he led came under yellows. Usually rookie drivers that struggle get another season to improve, but not in this case. After 2008, he would never race in IndyCar again. After a few tests during the off-season for Conquest, he was released prior to the first race for Alex Tagliani. Definitely another case of an Indy Lights prospect moving up the ladder way too quickly. I get some fans calling it unfair to label someone an IndyCar bust after only one season, but with the amount of opportunities he got with some top teams in Indy Lights, as well as DNFing in half of the IndyCar races he participated in my opinion, he is without a doubt an IndyCar bust. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.